Hi, today we are going to discuss what exactly the holistic approach to nutrition is. So, holistic nutrition training, which we are starting, essentially means mind-body nutrition. Okay, so what is this mind-body nutrition? See, when we see a patient or when we see a client who come to us for a diet plan, what do? We simply do a food recall. So what they have been eating, and we try to identify the gaps in their eating behavior, and we try to look for some of the mistakes they are doing unknowingly, and we try to correct them. Then we follow it up regularly with the client to make sure that they are forming a good habit, healthy habit, and finally we see the result. So usually the whole program, starting from taking food recall to giving a diet plan and counseling, it is somewhere between 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, so most of the time it is everybody's experience, or most of the dietitians we experience this, that we are doing everything right for the patient. Say for example, we plan the calories correctly, we plan the protein correctly, and the timings are good, quality is good, quantity is good, and the patient is following, but still they are not able to see the result. From looking at the body alone, so we are bringing in the equation of the person's psychological state. If we can study both of them together, right? So we need to understand if a person is going through a psychological stress coming at family end or maybe at his professional life, that is also important. How comfortable that is, what is their stress index, whether they are at relaxed state of mind or not. All these things we need to look into. So typically the holistic nutrition approach lasts for an individual usually 60 to 90 minutes. We need to study the person completely, including to assess the psychological state. So, say for example, if there are two individuals, A and B, and A is like extremely happy, joyful and content, and B is in severe stress and in anxiety and depressed. Okay, we all know that one boiled egg gives approximately 6 to 7 grams of protein. Now, the question is, when we give the egg to these two people, who do you think will digest the egg completely and get all the protein and all the micronutrients? The answer is obviously A, because we are speaking from our experience, is it not? When we are happy, we feel like anything, we feel like eating anything, digesting anything. But when we are sad, depressed, your loved ones are in hospital or in a critical stage, somebody gives you your favorite food, first of all, you don't feel like eating. Right? Forget about like digesting and assimilating it, you don't feel like eating. So, with our experience, we say that yeah. But if you speak objectively, right? An egg is an egg, no matter what. So, this is where the mind-body nutrition or the holistic approach to nutrition really plays an important role. So, how do we do this? What we need to do in this? See, if there is an illness, okay? So, there is an illness and a doctor diagnoses it by looking at their biochemistry, right? And they do some imaging and identify a pathology. And if they see that, okay, this particular illness is T3, T4 deficient, hypothyroidism. So, they give an alternate. They give a medicine and they try to correct the biochemistry, right? But before this illness, the kind of nutrition the person is taking over a period of time, over years, this has led. Okay, this we talk about the physical nutrition. Here, what are we doing? See, human body, if you look at it, right, is a collection of cells, close to 100 trillion cells. 100 trillion cells. Everything that we eat is digested, right, and absorbed from the gut into the bloodstream, and this is going to different cells in our body. Let's say these are cells in a body, and this is our capillary, a small capillary. On either side of the capillary we have living cells. Now the nutrients are coming in. The nutrients are coming in. Let's say this is our protein molecule. Protein. So this protein is going in. When this protein is going in, who is actually, or let's say for example, this is a glucose molecule. When the glucose is going into the cell, somebody has to open the door. We know that that is insulin. Insulin lets the glucose molecule in, and the cell is supposed to metabolize that glucose for energy sake. Now, this person, while eating, he is stressed out because he is watching TV and he hears something bad happening to our country. He is extremely stressed. He is eating. Right now, his kidney, adrenal glands are releasing what into his system? The dangerous cortisol and adrenaline. Now, we are giving two kinds of communication. What is that? The internal communication. The nutrition is coming in and body knows exactly what kind of message we are giving into the body. And at the same time, the mind is also communicating to the same cells. Okay, food is coming, but right now I am tensed. Right now I am stressed. When you are stressed, every cell in our body is also stressed. Right? Every cell. And while eating, we are eating in a depressive mood because you are worried about something and you are not in a right frame of mind, but you have to eat. So that is like we are communicating body through the kind of food we eat, and also the kind of, with every thought, a hormone is released. When you are happy, happy hormones are released. When you are depressed, happy hormones are lost. When you are stressed, stress hormones are released into the system. They are going into the blood and talking to each and every cell of our body. Now, when they are stressed out, they are supposed to cook this food, but they are not cooking. Right? And it is not being metabolized properly. So, this communication is what we are missing. So, nutrition, before that, we need to understand that what kind of a person he is in. First, he is a healthy man. Right? Over a period of time, this communication is happening, psychological communication. Every day, with every act he is becoming a different person, and with the kind of food that is taking it, and finally it is resulting in an illness. And for this man, the doctor is drawing out blood and checking and doing imaging, and he don't know what kind of a problems he is in and what kind of a person he is in. He is only interested in his biochemistry and imaging. I am not finding fault with doctors here. Their job is to fix things. Okay, they are doing absolutely right in their sense. And as a dietitians, we are also doing the same. What kind of food is going in and how it is being processed, and we need to correct it. That we are doing it anyway. But out of this 100%, maybe illness, if this is what doctor is doing, maybe this is what we are doing. We are missing out the person completely. Right? This is what holistic approach to nutrition is all about. So, how do we approach this? How do we approach this holistically? Okay, we need to understand only one thing. Right? The concept here is only one thing. Every thought we have, before we take any action, it precedes, it starts with a thought. Right? So, an action repeated over a period of time becomes a habit. And collection of habits is what we all are. Okay? Now, if the thought is a happy thought, right? Every thought is associated with an emotion. If the thought before doing that action is a happy thought, the action you do will be with lot of ease. Say for example, you are a very good painter, and somebody says that okay, she is a very good painter, and when you are painting again, you remember that particular compliment and you feel happy about it, and when you are doing your next rendering, you will be doing it with a lot of ease. And when you repeat that over a period of time, that also becomes a habit in you, and that is also part of you, right? But at the same time, somebody says something that you are a terrible cook, okay, and it evokes a sad feeling. Next time a person goes to cooking and they repeat the same thing, because you are afraid of public speaking and you are forced to speak on a stage. What happens? We freeze, right? We don't even going like to step onto the stage. We may tumble, right? We may stutter. All these things happen because your body is not at ease. Your body is tensed. Your body is at dis-ease. You repeat this over a period of time, that also becomes part of you. This is another memory ingrained in you. Okay. Now, shall we comfortably say that we are nothing but our thoughts? We are what our thoughts are, sum total of thoughts, whatever is running in your mind as of now. Some positive thoughts are running, some negative thoughts are running. The sum total. If you are anxious, so your whole system is anxious. But let us go a bit deeper. What is the anatomy of thought? What is the structure of a thought? Thought is made up of, thought consists of some information, is it not? Thought consists of every thought, every word we hear consists of some information, and it also carries some energy. Right? How we can say that thought carries energy? Say for example, somebody is like in a happy mood and you connect the wires, EEG apparatus to that particular brain, and you see heightened activity in the EEG. And somebody is sleeping and you connect the same machine and you see the waves are smaller, they are not active. And now you connect it to a dead body, because dead body cannot think, it is a straight line, right? Whenever you are thinking, you are evoking some kind of energy. Now, what is the place you call a place where you store information? Memory, right? This is called memory. So we can also deduct from this that we are nothing but our memories. Yes? And where is this memory stored? We know that it is all stored in our brain. And the brain, when it is functioning, we call it as mind. Now let us look at our mind. We are coming to what mind-body nutrition is. So when you look at mind, and let's say this is a hard disk of our mind, and since your childhood, all the memories are stored year by year when you are young and married, kids and career, right? All of them, they are stored in the mind. Now, these memories are stored inside, and there are two types of minds. One is like conscious mind, and second one is subconscious mind. Second one is subconscious mind. The mind has got the excellent ability to automate things. Okay, whenever, computer programmers know this. If you were to do the same action repeatedly, they create a code for it. In the same way, body also creates a code. Okay, so when you are repeatedly doing something, it gets coded, it gets hardwired into the system. These are called memories, and we already saw what habits are. So your subconscious mind is full of these memories. Some are happy, some are sad. Okay. Now, if I ask you, let's say your birthday is in August. So this is, let's say, March. If I ask you, what did you wear for your birthday in August 2015? You will immediately recollect the color of your dress. But I ask the same thing, what did you wear on let's say November 2nd of 2015, you may not recollect it unless and otherwise it's an important thing. Now, how the body operates is, so why is this? Because that birthday is an important event in our life. We celebrate it, and the moment you want to recollect it, it is very clear, vivid. What did we wear? What did we do? Because it is one of the most important days, right? But everyday actions, though they are recorded or stored in this, they are not actually emotionally charged. Emotionally charged issues only stored as memories. Rest of the things, they become just, right, they are not getting attention. That means they are not like recollected that easily. What is this implying? How is it connected to our mind-body nutrition? Now, if you look at our subconscious mind, and when you go back in your time and try to see what are the happiest moments in my life and what are my painful moments, and you collect it, and if pain, let's say you have like a 30 score and happy you have only 15, the net effect is they are sending out signals far more with far more speed or like say energy into our body. The subconscious system is what is affecting our body. Now, so the automated things, right? When we are eating, it's an automatic thing. Body knows that when he eats, the subconscious mind sends the signals to our digestive system, our pancreas, and all the hormones are activated. Circulation is redirected to our stomach from rest of the bodies where blood is not required. All these things are automated and are conducted by subconscious mind. But the effective nature of subconscious mind is what? Whether you are sending depressive signals or happy signals. When you are sending happy signals, the activity done by the subconscious system is the food is processed effectively. The food is processed effectively. But more and more painful memories are happening in a person, and you accumulate them and they are not able to come out. Then it is affecting our physiology. Now, coming to conscious mind, all the information is sent into our system through our 5 senses. Through our 5 senses: visual, auditory, olfactory, touch, and touch. So this information is completely coming in. Conscious mind, if you understand this computer terminology, it is more like a RAM and this is more like a hard disk. So you may be having 100 GB of data in your system, but at any point of the time, the capacity of your RAM is what you see on your screen. If it is 4 GB RAM, like you can see only access 4 GB of data in that conscious mind. So why this subconscious mind we need to study, we need to understand these memories and thought patterns and our belief system says. The conscious mind, consciously, if you are thinking that, okay, I am eating healthy food, I am happy, healthy, that will be, conscious mind can process only 30 signals per second. But the subconscious mind processes around 2 million signals per second. This is nothing when compared to, 30 is nothing when compared to 220 lakhs of signals sent by our subconscious mind. So we need to understand what is this man projecting, what kind of belief system. So anything you repeatedly do, this forms a belief system. This forms a belief system. Say, belief system is like this: if I eat ice cream, I will become fat. Okay, you constantly hear that. So the mind works in that model only. So body doesn't know the negative word. The mind that doesn't know about the negative words. Negative words in the sense, if I ask you to close your eyes and not to think of a monkey, don't think of a monkey. What do you see in your mind? Monkey. That is how it happens. So the kind of information that is getting in, day in and day out, whatever, we consume a lot of data every day through these senses. Okay, but if you don't analyze, you stop it for a while and go into your subconscious mind and see what kind of belief systems you have built into this. No matter how healthy food we are taking, no matter how good a doctor we are seeing and the best medications you are taking, it is very difficult to come out of that situation. This is the reason why most of these lifestyle diseases are called psychosomatic illness. Psycho means mind, somatic is body and illness. So we need to, this is the nutrition. This is the nutrition, audio, video, taste, smell and touch. This is the nutrition that is going into our mind. This particular client of mine who is 30 years of age, let's say working in a corporate company as a sales manager and meeting so many clients, married 2 years back, suffering with this acidity problem and say hypertension, right? So you just don't measure height, weight and look at his food and give him a diet plan for decreasing acidity, remove the irritants and give more bland diets. That's not the thing. We have to look much deeper into it. What kind of a person he is in. At the age of 30, his belief system is already affecting the way the physiology is happening. So how stressed he is, how much stress he is exposed to over a period of time, what kind of education, what kind of family background, what kind of support he has, what kind of challenges he has faced, and finally what kind of a belief system he has built in for his body. Some people come with this strong belief system. See, the problem I see with current diabetes is people are told that once you are a diabetic for life, right? To tell you frankly, allopathy till now don't know the cause of diabetes. Nobody ever knows, right? The cause is still idiopathic. There are only risk factors for diabetes. But we have the audacity to say that, okay, you have to take it for lifetime because we are still exploring. And patients take the doctor's words for granted and they believe that it is very difficult to break that belief system. So the kind of belief systems a person is having with the kind of psychological nutrition that he has fed into the system and which he is not consciously aware, right? If you ask a person, he will speak only from this and you have strong filters. Nobody speaks their heart out. Nobody want to speak their heart out. It comes out. Whatever information that is there, it has to come out with so many filters. So it is important not only to look at the physical nutrition, but the psychological nutrition. What kind of words he is hearing, what kind of life he has seen over a period of time, what kind of tastes what kind of challenges he experienced with the life, and the kind of belief system he has built in. So if we understand these two kind of things, then we can come up with solutions. The way this program is structured is, so there are two things. First, assessment, and once you identify the pattern in a client, you need to have some management tools. So under assessment, what are all the things that you need to study? You need to study about the subconscious mind, how it operates, what does it mean, how they are formed. All of them we need to study, and then we need to understand about thoughts, memories and memory mapping. How to go back in time and try to identify this person's personality. Next is like we need to identify what kind of emotional toxicity the person is in, right? Some people, you want to talk nicely, but they are not received. No, they are not in a position to receive your advice or counsel. So this emotional state, how to assess an individual, and how to assess a person's relationship status, right? How does it affect our physiology? And most importantly, the reality based on what kind of reality perception the person is having, right? You will be given an introduction to the quantum physics as well. This is where the science and the physics and the metaphysics, they merge, the quantum physics, the reality. The reality perception is a different thing. When you deal with people's problems holistically, right, our perception towards life totally changes. Say for example, there is one abusive husband who is an alcoholic and abuses his wife physically, and he denies any kind of freedom to this particular woman, and she is your client, and obviously she will be coming up to you with obesity, hypothyroidism, diabetes, arthritis, acidity and all these issues. And when she comes and she presents you, just measuring body mass index, body composition analysis, those are required, and taking the food recall, planning the diet is not going to help. Okay, we need to identify. Now once you do this approach, you talk to the person and you come to know of these facts, right? Then what is your opinion on this? Your opinion on this, she is victim and he is the perpetrator. Okay, but once you understand, go through the course, the way you look at these things, will be completely changing. See, there are no victims, there is no pain, there are no challenges. See, problems are being termed as challenges. Okay, the bigger the challenge, the greater the opportunity to become a bigger hero. So he is actually creating an opportunity for her to empower herself. Instead of feeling victimized, if she tries to change her mind, belief system and core repeated patterns, that's what the empowerment we are supposed to give as a counselor when we are dealing in a holistic approach. So the reality perception, how to read it. So, and finally, how to assess and classify people based on these tools. You have hundreds of books on each one of them. The power of subconscious mind, the belief system, the biology of belief, molecules of emotion. There are wonderful books available around the world. You can spend your rest of 3 to 4 years of life reading all of them, learning, applying them on your clients. You can do that. But here you will be learning all of them in 20 hours of video tutorial through this particular program. By the way, we encourage you to read while going through this training program also. So now you made the assessment with all these different kinds of assessment methods. Now how do we manage this? So we'll start with conscious eating. What is conscious eating? And tools like auto rating and journaling, right? If you write your problem statement correctly, 50% of the problem is solved. So auto rating or journaling is one of the best ways of identifying one's problem. Most of the problems are solved the moment you put your problem on a paper, because when we are thinking, we go rounds and rounds, right? So I have problem with my husband, my kids are not eating properly, my in-laws problem, this, that and all this. I mean, men have different kinds of problem, women have different kinds of problem. By journaling, how it effectively helps, what are the different ways, and how to make people do the journaling. And forgiveness, there are different kinds of exercises, how forgiveness and other releasing techniques helps, because see, all the memories are stored inside our brain, and it is a potential energy. To make it go out of your mind, you have to consciously to convert this energy. That is an NLP technique. NLP is Neuro-Linguistic Program. So what they effectively do is, you change the story and you try to see it in a different way, and these releasing techniques and forgiveness techniques, they help. And finally, we have affirmations is one of the tools to help these clients. But see, most of you or some of you might have gone through this book, popular book called The Secret. In that, the author says, whatever you think, right? Or whatever law of attraction, whatever you repeatedly think of, or whatever you speak of, or whatever you write, it will manifest. But many people, the affirmations, they don't work, but we'll learn how to make them work for you. Okay. Next is like some of the relaxation techniques like conscious breathing and deep breathing, Sedona breathing, all these things, relaxation techniques, and how to do this subconscious mind reprogramming. And different kinds of healing techniques. Say for example, hypnosis is one healing technique, and there are like energy healing, different kinds of healing techniques, including yoga, how useful it is. All of them we'll study, and finally we'll know a little bit of other esoteric practices like chakra healing and past life regression, how they help and how to make use of these things. So all these things are covered in approximately 20 hours of video training. All these videos will be available for you provided if you subscribe and register for it. Available for you online for 1 complete year. Okay, they will be ready by 31st of March, and the reason why we are doing this is, as dietitians, we are at a wonderful position in our society right now. See, the chronic diseases are there in each and every family nowadays, whether you take BP, diabetes, arthritis, thyroidism, obesity, every one family is suffering with one or the other diseases. Most of the dietitians, though they did their graduation or post-graduation, after that they get busy with their families and get into lives, and they don't have time to practice. So we want to bring them out, all of them. So we want to provide an opportunity to learn clinical nutrition as well, and on top of that, if you know or learn how to use this holistic approach, you can practice even from your home. We have wonderful software for that, wonderful platforms. There are so many players available. You don't have to go to any place. You sit, and with your knowledge, if you can help at least one person in a day or in a week, you are making a difference. That's what our aim is through these videos. We want to share. I mean, all this information has come to us, to me and to Mamata, and I'm just a face presenting it to you. It is all her knowledge. So, over 16 periods of 16 years of working, and last 7-8 years she dedicated completely into reading all this stuff and using them as tools to make a difference in her client's life. And we want you to also learn these principles and apply in your counseling techniques and make a difference in our client's life. So when it comes down to the purpose of life, if you can change a person's life, there is nothing better than that.